The Helix Amazon Arlington headquarters. In architectural terms, a duck is a building whose structural shape represents its purpose or the product sold therein. The term was coined by architects Robert Venturi and Denise Scott Brown, who studied the vernacular architecture of Las Vegas. The duck, often a gimmicky roadside attraction, looked like a donut and sold donuts, or like a duck and sold ducks. In 1997, the Longaberger Company, which manufactures wood baskets, opened a 180,000 square foot office building in Ohio shaped like a wood basket. In other words, a giant duck. February 2nd, 2021. On February 2nd, Amazon announced that the focal point of its second headquarters in Arlington County, or HQ2, would be a double helix-shaped building in Pentagon City, rising some 350 feet, clad in glass and girdled with trees. The Helix, as it's been dubbed, looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, but what kind of duck is this? Amazon, whose founder and CEO, Jeff Bezos, owns the Washington Post, explained, "The natural beauty of a double helix can be seen throughout our world, from the geometry of our own DNA to the elemental form of galaxies, weather patterns, pine cones, and seashells. DNA is the salient point. The double helix-shaped molecule is fundamental to all known organisms, just as Amazon is fundamental to all known commerce. It is the root of everything, just as Amazon sells everything." Ducks don't get a lot of respect in the architecture world, and there was perhaps a bit of a collective eye roll when renderings of the Helix designed by the global firm NBBJ were unveiled. Sited near the dispiriting, boxy, and functional architecture of Crystal City, home to trade associations with bland names and innumerable defense contractors, the Helix looks flashy. Renderings show the spiraling form, which includes two external pathways meant to recreate the experience of a hike in the Blue Ridge Mountains, according to the official Amazon announcement, gleaming in the midday sun or seen in the distance, glowing with warm golden hues at sunrise or sunset. Renderings like this are similar to tail fins and the hood ornament on a vintage car. They capture one's fancy without revealing much about what's under the hood. The Helix. The Helix won't be an office building. Rather, it will be a space for employees in the surrounding Amazon complex to unwind, relax, or meet informally with colleagues. Its guiding design principle is biophilia, the belief, well substantiated by research, that access to nature, including light, air, plants, and trees, is healthy for workers and increases productivity. Inside and out, the Helix will expose Amazon workers to a cultivated facsimile of what they might find outdoors if they had time to be outdoors. Structurally, it is built around a central core that will contain the main mechanical elements of the building, with the helix-shaped envelope supported by arsed fin-like girders anchored into the large inner column. Floor plates will extend from the center to the outside perimeter in various configurations, offering what looks to be a warren of green zones and sitting areas, as well as a handicap access to the exterior of the building. One exterior path will mimic a mountain climb, while the other will provide access to more contemplative outdoor spaces for reading, chilling, or checking email. Cost of Helix. The Helix, the cost of which hasn't been revealed by Amazon, will function as an informal front door for the collection of buildings that are intentionally decentralized, a non-campus campus of some 5.4 million square feet of space dispersed over two main sites and rental properties in Arlington County and the north tip of Alexandria. The Helix is a communal space within the larger Amazon complex, and the company says it will be open to the public on select weekends by reservation. But it is also clearly intended to send a larger communal message to the Washington area and beyond about the company it represents. It will be both high-tech and green, built to the highest prevailing environmental standard, LEED Platinum, and powered by a solar firm in Pittsylvania County, Virginia, more than 200 miles south of Arlington. It very intentionally does not look like anything else in Pentagon City or Crystal City or anywhere else in the region. The style, a populist, jazzy take on high-tech modernism, isn't aimed at architecture critics, but at the public, which shows remarkable forbearance to the predations of large corporations, so long as they have a reputation for being innovative and forward-thinking. So it is a flag of sorts, waving at the north tip of a development Amazon has dubbed Penn Place. It will be a prominent visual icon on Interstate 395, likely more striking as you leave Washington than when you enter it. Other buildings in DC function like entry points, including the fortress-like 2008 Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives designed by Mosh Savdi, which greets arrivals from New York Avenue with a blast of Bush-era security paranoia, and the 1961 RFK Stadium, a crumbling reminder of the more optimistic collective age that ushers traffic along East Capitol into the city. The Helix, however, isn't so much an entry point as a flamboyant exit sign, a glitzy welcome to the Trans-Potomac, the anti-Washington, the magical possibilities of untrammeled capitalism one might enjoy if only regulation and oversight were permanently in the rearview mirror. But it is also a distraction. The larger story is the spread of greater Amazonia, the millions of square feet of new space that is the subaquatic iceberg floating out of the Helix's crystal tip. These buildings are every bit as buttoned down as the Helix is theatrical, and that seems the point. Unlike corporate behemoths of an earlier age, Amazon doesn't want an enormous corporate campus with a security perimeter, designated entrances, and a lush landscape of meticulously curated grassy desolation and green despair. So the other Penn Place buildings, 3 large traditional office towers that will start going up in 2022, are designed with terraces and surrounding green space. An effort has been made to break down the massing of yet more Amazon buildings in a development at nearby Metropolitan Park so they fit a bit more politely into the neighborhood. The company stresses that accompanying amenities across the campuses will be available to everyone, regardless of Amazon employment. Dog runs, street-level shops, parks, performance and presentation spaces, an amphitheater, and gathering spots. Part of a neighborhood, not a campus, reads the title of a slide Amazon prepared to introduce the public to its Metropolitan Park development, about a 5-minute walk south of the Penn Place buildings. But Amazon will also take over maintenance and security at Metropolitan Park, which raises First Amendment issues, especially if people want to protest Amazon. The company stressed that it will control this space consistent with local regulations, but policing is subjective, discretionary, and subject to context. It also raises concerns for the homeless and anyone who doesn't conform to Amazon's expected norms of park usage. The goal of the Helix. The goal of the Helix and other Amazon office buildings is agency, giving people choices, giving people as much control over their environment as possible, says architect Dale Alberta, a principal at NBBJ, which was also responsible for a similar structure called the Spheres at Amazon's main campus in Seattle. In an interview, Alberta and John Schottler, Amazon's vice president of global real estate and facilities, stressed the integration of Amazon facilities into the neighborhood, its connection to transit, its bicycle and pedestrian-friendly streetscape, and something about giving away free bananas, which is apparently a thing Amazon does in Seattle. The opposite of a duck, according to Venturian Scott Brown, was a decorated shed, a basic functional building with a sign on it. Amazon doesn't intend to put signs on its office buildings in Arlington, thus completing a fascinating dance of now you see me, now you don't. The Helix, the big duck of the development, is the sign, while the decorated sheds around it are meant to sink into the backgrounds as unobtrusive good neighbors. Don't mind us, we're hardly here at all. The problem, of course, isn't the architecture, it's the economy, and it's clear that the influx of highly paid Amazon workers is going to have an enormous impact on housing values and costs, not just in Crystal City and Arlington County, but throughout the Washington region. The company has promised a $2 billion housing equity fund to help prevent a massive loss of affordable housing at its hubs in Seattle, Nashville, and Arlington, but the initial portion dedicated to the HQ2 area is just $382 million, mostly in below-market loans, to create or preserve 1,300 affordable homes in Crystal House, a building in Crystal City. Derek Hyra, director of the Metropolitan Policy Center at American University, says that it is a substantial figure compared with what the other companies and many municipalities have promised, but greatly inadequate compared to the need. The affordable crisis didn't happen because of Amazon, Hyder says, but the amount promised, he adds, is a drop in the bucket of the affordable housing needs of the area. Those needs will greatly intensify as Amazon's highly paid workers flood into the area, and they will be felt most acutely by those with the lowest incomes. That was all about the Helix, Amazon's Arlington headquarters. Thank you guys for watching. If you want more videos like this, make sure to like the video and hit the subscribe button, and we will see you in the next video.